This Bible was written for us to learn from. And what you saw right there is in this Bible. That's that popular persuasion that Bishop Kenai and Bishop Nathaniel always bring up. Go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, start at verse 6. Today's class is spiritual warfare. Because whether you believe it or not, that right there, that report wasn't supposed to get out. It came out in October. Bishop Nathaniel did a class over like a couple weeks back. I think he was down in Austin or something with Bishop Kenai. And they brought it up. And it's being brought up again. The Most High is literally showing us what Esau is doing, what's about to happen, what's going on. So it's our job to be ready for that, right? And we go to the scriptures to get ready for it. You got it?
Got it.
Go ahead, read.
2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water.
Who knows what this is talking about? What is Ezra explain, or being explained? What's being shown to Ezra?
It's talking about the trials we're going to go through to make it to heaven.
Right. This is the kingdom of heaven. This great city set on a broad field and filled with all good things. But the path to get there is narrow. It's hard. And if you stray off this path, destruction waits for you on the left hand and the right hand. Read.
Verse 8. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once.
So basically what Ezra is telling us, to get to the kingdom, it's going to be hard. This path, there's no other way to get to the kingdom. There's no other path, and you can't take somebody with you. You can only take yourself. This is what's happening right now. Look, the Most High showed us what they're doing with the black identity extremists, right? What do you think that's going to do to Israel? It's going to shake the hell out of us, right? I mean, think about it. They're going to start persecuting people. We could be out on the corner teaching. You sisters could be walking to Walmart, and next thing you know, they grab you up because you're part of an extremist movement. Or you brothers walking together, and next thing you know, they roll up on y'all, black vans, snatch y'all up. This thing is starting to get real. The warfare is getting real. It's turning up ever so slightly, one notch at a time. And this is part of the path. This is part of those trials. Read.
Verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
How are we going to get it? How are we going to get the kingdom of heaven if we never go through the trials? If you just say, you know what, nah, I'm not going to go through this. How are you going to receive the kingdom? How are you going to get there? You got to go through the trials. This right now is going to be a big trial because Esau could do a lot with this black identity extremist. We don't even know exactly what it all entails. It could be hate speech. It can be you reposting something on Facebook. It can be you speaking against something that's blatant racism. You can be an extremist now. It's about to turn up, but we have to go through these things to get the kingdom. It's a must. It used to be given to us willingly, which I think we're about to read. Yeah, go ahead, read.
Verse 10, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
Indeed, so also is Israel's portion. This is what Israel has to go through. This is what we're going through every day, and the trials of having to get up to go to work, deal with your coworkers, always asking you the same question every day. What are them things on the bottom of your dress? What are them things at the bottom of your shirt? Why you got your beard? Man, so you don't eat no pork? You tell me you don't eat no pork. Man, hey, bro, look at that girl right there. Look, you have to go through these things. It happens all the time. Read.
Verse 11, because for their sakes I made the world.
The world was made for us. Read.
And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done.
So when Adam transgressed, then that's when the Most High was like, all right, they got to go through it. They got to earn this. You just don't get it no more. It was given to everybody freely in the beginning. But then when Adam transgressed, oh no, I can't just give it to him. They got to earn it. Give me Exodus 15:3. Because we got to understand that's part of the war, is going through trials, not just with our everyday lives or amongst Israel ourselves, but also with this world, what Esau's going to do, what he's going to turn it up as, what he's going to label us as. Are y'all ready for that? Because what if it comes out, they pass that law on black identity extremists, and then they start screening people. A lot of us can lose our jobs, especially if you do something important, like a scientist. I'm just saying. You can lose your job. That's a very important position. Go ahead, read.
Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is a man of war. So likewise, we have to be in that mindset that this is war. This is where it's at. This is the spiritual war. We don't have to war with physical weapons. Our war is on a whole nother level. Esau can do it physically, and he's been doing it physically with abortions, with that Section 8, EBT, all these things, the Christian church. But now it's starting to wear off. We're starting to go on a different plane of warfare. Our minds are starting to wake up. We're starting to come back. So now he has to do it another way. Oh, I got to shake him mentally. I got to attack him somewhere else, a different angle, because everything else that was working ain't working no more. So the war now is stepping up. He's saying, okay, enough with the light stuff. These dudes are exposing me out on the street corners. They're literally waking, the people are listening. The people are identifying with what they're saying. What can I do to shut them down? That's right. One thing Jake hates is being labeled as a hater. They hate that thing. Jake, oh my goodness. Tell Jake, oh man, you sipping on some haterade. I ain't hating. Look, I ain't hating. Who cares? We got to go through this. We have to push through it. And with things like this coming up more, oh my goodness. It's going to get worse. Hey, bring up that article, the crackdown. Enos, you know which one I'm talking about? There we go. It says FBI's dangerous crackdown on black identity extremists. When was this? Can you blow it up a little bit or zoom in? When was this? November 15th. 2017. Scroll down. It says, and read that, Yaakov. You do it. You're reading. How am I?
An FBI report leaked in October and scrutinized during the oversight hearing of the House of Judiciary Committee on Tuesday warns of an emergent domestic terror threat sweeping the nation and threatening the lives of law enforcement officers. The Black Identity Extremist BIE movement, this designation just recently invented by the FBI, is a frightening and dangerous as the Bureau's infamous COINTELPRO program of the 1960s and 70s, under which J. Edgar Hoover set out to disrupt and destroy virtually any group with the word black in its name. Today,
hold on. We don't even have black in our name. We're Israel united in Christ. But I tell you, look, but y'all are the black Hebrew Israelites. They make up the labels. So what are we going to do? Do we run and scream now? Oh my goodness, they're coming for us. And we go hide? No. What do? We push through it. You men have to be ready for this. You have to get the young men ready for this. Because if we catch hell, you know they're going to catch hell. Because their parents are going to tell their kids, oh, don't mess with that. That kid's an extremist. He's a terrorist. Already we always get mistaken for Muslim. I know you women do too. With the head wrap, us with our beards. Y'all Muslim? No, we're not terrorists. But look at this. It says made up. Where'd it go? Recently invented by the FBI. This is invented. This is an invention. It's not even real. They don't even know if it's real. And they're using this to come after us. This thing is going to get crazy. And it says, hold on. It said, black in its name. Today, entirely nonviolent black activists face violations of their civil liberties. Like we had any. That's our problem. We always think we had civil liberties here. We forget that we're at war. Our people are totally to the point where warfare is not in their mindset. We don't realize that our God is a man of war and that we should have a warlike mindset. To realize that every move that these other nations take, whether it be owning businesses in our communities, selling us products that we invented, that's an act of war. Calling you a black identity extremist, that's an act of war. They're literally getting ready to try to shut us down.
Hey, can I get the definition of civil? It says, of relating to or consisting of citizens, civil life, civil society, of the commonwealth or state, civil affairs. This is what our people are fighting for, equality with people that they're not even equal to, that we're above, and we're fighting to be equal to something that we're better than. That ain't got nothing to do with us, and they want to drag us off into it.
But we have to realize everything that is happening to us came from the Most High. The Most High is doing it to get us right, to set us back. Remember, when we first got into the land, the Most High didn't drive off everybody. He kept people around to teach us war, because we understood that it's not going to be all peaches and cream. Now, when it was Solomon's day, that was awesome. But we're trying to get back to that. So we have to war. We have to be that war mindset. Now, this is not a brothers, hey, go get guns. No, we ain't none of that. This is strictly spiritual. Get your mind right. Realize what's being done in front of you, so that way you're mentally prepared to deal with it. Same with you sisters. Support your men. Help them get their minds right. Read.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
Spirits that are created for vengeance. That includes the Edomite spirit. Read.
Which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
Do you know who can explain that? Mike Yalla.
He's talking about the spirits that he's talking about is like fire, hell, things of that nature. All the spirits that's created, that's for vengeance, for the Lord's vengeance, it was created specifically for that and for them to play out the Most High's will, basically.
Right. Read.
Verse 29.
I'm sorry. What does it mean to appease the wrath of him that made them?
Meaning they're going to go off his command.
They're going to make him happy when it happens.
Right. They're going to make him happy.
Read. Here's some of these spirits.
Verse 29. Fire and hail.
Right.
And famine.
Right.
And death.
Read.
And all these were created for vengeance.
These are just some that were created for vengeance. Fire, hail, famine, death. Things that we consider natural. These are just what Esau calls natural disasters. These are spirits of vengeance. But let's keep reading.
Verse 30. Teeth of the wild beasts and scorpions.
So when people get bit by a dog, or you get chased down, or a cat bites you, something like that, that's the Most High. When you see them people getting mauled, mauled by tigers and lions and stuff, falling into the zoo, and the animals looking at them like, well, okay, I'm going to eat this. That's the Most High. He did that thing. Keep reading.
Serpents.
Scorpions and serpents. Read.
And the sword.
And the sword. What is the sword? Gotta lie, I'm not calling on you.
Today's sword is the gun.
Right, but what is the sword used for?
To kill.
What act? What mass act?
War.
Right. War. The spirit of war. A sword. Like the brother said, a gun. Warfare. That's what it's used for. And that's what we're in. That's what all the other nations know and are in cahoots about, is that they're at war with us. We're the only people that literally don't know we're at war. Out of all the nations on the earth, we think everything's cool. Hey, man, hey, what's up? What's going on? And here they are like, oh, man, I can't wait to destroy you. This is going to be great. They read, and I'm telling you, the people, just the Edomites at my job understand this and read this. They knew about this. I just say, hey, man, did you hear about the Jeff Sessions thing? Yeah, man, I heard about it. That's crazy. Even the black identity extremists. I'm like, hold on, I didn't say nothing about that. I didn't even mention that. But they even know. That's because their mindset is always set on war, so should ours. If the Most High is a man of war, we should be men of war. Because we should be rolling in the same spirit as the Most High, right? Do you think Christ was thinking about, oh, hugs and lollipops and kisses? Everything's all right. He rolled with that same spirit. He understood what was going on. What did he say? I didn't come to send peace, but a sword. I came to divide. He caused war within the household. Those that are righteous and those that are unrighteous. I'm separating them. There's going to be war between them. But while we have a war on that front, war with our heathen parents that don't want to get right, we still warring with the whole dang world. We're surrounded. Keep reading.
Punishing the wicked to destruction.
Punishing the wicked to destruction. Even those amongst Israel that don't want to get right, you will get caught up in this. You'll say the wrong things. Esau will be at your door. Hey, put these on. Come with us. Or they'll snatch you up because you ain't doing the commandments. You don't want to do it God's way. You want to do it your way. And we've heard it. You brothers, and some of you sisters may have seen videos where you have black Hebrew Israelites talking about we need to get guns. We need to teach our kids how to shoot. We need to get ready. The white man got guns. That's not what it's about. Not at all. Not by might, right? Not by might, right? But by the Lord's Spirit. Read.
Verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and where their time is come, they shall not transgress his words.
So get this. They're all waiting on the Most High to tell them. You want me to just imagine. Take it even down to this that little be flying around that you know you can sting, and you be swinging like, oh snap, it's gonna sting me, and then it just flies off. That's because the Most High said, no, you don't need to sting him. No, go on somewhere. You're not stinging them. That's how little that is. From the bee all the way up to the lion, all the way up to Esau and his warfare, his tactics, his articles, his little reports that he puts out. They're all spirits of vengeance, and they won't transgress. They unlike Israel, they're going to do what they're told. They're going to be right on point, right on time, every time. What are we going to do? We're going to get ready. We're going to be ready. We're going to stay in these commandments. We're going to do what the Most High tells us to do, because the powers that be are ordained of God, and they're not a terror to good works. Give me Joshua chapter 6. But I'm going to show you. This is what happens when you're not spiritually in tune, when you're not on a spiritual warfare plane. You get comfortable. And Israel has many examples that we're going to read in Joshua where Israel got comfortable and thought it was them. They forgot that the Most High was fighting for them. They thought it was all physical. Oh, it's all us. We got the swords. We're doing the thing. They forgot that, oh, no, Negro, it's not you. The Most High is doing this. The Most High is fighting our battles. Yeah, you might be down here, and you might think you're doing, but don't lose your mind. The Most High allowed you to do this. You got it?
Got it.
Joshua chapter 6. Chapter 6, verse 15. Jump down to 15.
The book of Joshua, chapter 6 and verse 15. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times.
Right. So this is for those that aren't familiar, this is the wall of Jericho. This is where Joshua was marching around, and they didn't say nothing. Complete discipline, mind of warfare. Don't say nothing. Don't peep. Don't shout. Don't whisper. We walking. That's all we doing. We walking. Read.
Verse 16. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priest blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Lord hath given you the city. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that were sent.
Right. So also this is Rahab, and they told Rahab, okay, look, put this outside your door. We promise ain't nothing gonna happen as long as you stay in this house. Now if she would have opened that door, came outside, she dead. Everybody dead. Didn't matter. That was the mindset of our men. Look at the discipline. Nobody said nothing, but when Joshua said shout, shout, the city's ours. Everybody understood that, right? Everything in the city is a curse. Kill everything. Look at the mindset. We read earlier, the Lord is a man of war. And then you read about Joshua and our forefathers. We don't really understand that they were going to kill everything. That's man, woman, child, baby, goats, cats, dogs, cows. It didn't matter. Everything's a curse. Kill it all. Read.
Verse 18. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves a curse. When ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord.
Right. So in that, we don't take nothing out of this, because it's not just about you. You brothers got to understand, when a brother or anybody is in sin, women, you sisters need to listen to this too. When one of us is in sin, it troubles everybody. It's not about, he did this, so I'm just going to stay away. I'm not going to do that. What are you dealing with? Because what you deal with troubles Israel too. It weakens us all. Where one is honored, we're all honored, right? When one suffer, we all suffer. It's the same thing with sin. If there's a little bit of sin in there, Israel's troubled. Even if there's a lot of sin, Israel is troubled. Point of it is, we need to have our minds right. This is why we always harp on the commandments. Every lesson seems like it's the same, huh? Keep the commandments. Keep the commandments. Keep the commandments. Y'all are like, okay, come on. I know I'm going to go to the Sabbath, and all I'm going to hear is keep the commandments. Okay, I need to do that. But examine yourself. What commandments aren't you keeping? What commandments could you keep better? That's part of the warfare, is keep your mind sharp, keep you going, keep you disciplined. Because to walk around a city for 7 days and say nothing, you got to be, look, that's on a whole nother level. That's on a whole nother level of discipline. But you got to keep that in mind, the warfare. Give me Joshua 7, start at verse 1. So we're still reading about Joshua. They utterly destroyed the city. But let's see what happens. Does Israel listen? Probably not. They're rebellious.
Joshua chapter 7 and verse 1. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing.
What do they do, brothers? Who knows? Catalyze. Don't do it. Yael.
Achan, he stole some of the idols and some of the money.
Right. He took of the accursed thing. Something now, the gold and all that was supposed to go to the Most High, but everything else, we were supposed to burn. Get rid of it. Don't take nothing. Burn it all. Get rid of it. No. Right? But Israel, being rebellious and hard-headed, what do they say? Committed a trespass in their accursed thing for
Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel.
Notice it said the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. Not Achan. The children of Israel. Everybody was troubled. Because that's what Joshua said. It's just like with our people today, we're all troubled. When you see IUIC going through things, what does that mean? There's usually sin somewhere. And then it comes out, and we start growing again. And then all of a sudden, we all get stagnant, and we're all wondering, like, what's going on? You know, we're losing people. People are falling off. And then the sin comes out, and then, we start, a big old growth happens again, right? We've all seen it. Some of y'all seen it in the short time you've been here. It happens all the time. This is the same thing. Where there's a little bit of sin, we all get troubled. All of a sudden, everything's going good for everybody, and next thing you know, next week or month or next year, it is hell. Everybody seems like they're going through it. And we have no clue why. It's because we don't examine ourselves. Because the Most High may be reminding us that, oh, hey, check your mind state. Don't get comfortable. Remember, you're at war. It ain't supposed to be easy. Read.
Verse 2. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethaven, on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai.
So the same way they did Jericho, they sent spies to spy out the land and the city, same thing. Read.
And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai.
So they fled. So they went up to take the city, but instead of taking the city, they fled. They got destroyed. They got pushed back. Let's see why. Keep reading.
Verse 5. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even unto Shebarim.
So get this. Their mindset was, oh, there's a few of them. We can do it. Just send, a couple thousand men, We'll go on there. We'll grab the city real quick. Everything be good, right? Yeah. Everybody, yeah. Con, right? Everybody was good. So they send the men out. Next thing you know, look, man. No, they real up there in AI. They killed 36 men. And Israel's thinking to themselves like, what? We just took Jericho. And Jericho was a way bigger city. Read.
And smote them in the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water.
That's that mind. Their mindset went from all of a sudden being confident in war to just, oh, snap. We just got defeated. Like, what do we do now? Read.
Verse 6. And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord until the eventide, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads.
Go jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10. And the Lord said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing.
Now, who took of the accursed thing, brothers? Achan, right? So how did Israel sin? Daniela.
Is it going into the Leviticus 5.
I don't know. I asked you a question.
It's because if one sin, that sin can jump off to somebody else. Like it vexes everybody.
What were you going to say? What scripture were you going to pull?
I was pulling Leviticus 5:1 because I wasn't.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 5 and verse 1. And if a soul sin,
Right?
and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity.
Right. So if you don't snitch, like Jake likes to say, you bear that iniquity. If you see somebody murder somebody or steal from somebody, you are now a murderer or a thief if you don't say nothing. Ain't that something? Snitches get stitches, whatever. I tell them at the work all the time, I tell on you right now. I tell on all y'all. I don't care if you don't want to be my friend or not. I tell on you. I snitch. I snitch hard. I tell on every one of y'all. I tell on my wife. Shoot. You can get me in trouble. Shoot. You fear the Most High, right? I fear the Most High. I'm not about to know. It was her. She did it. She did it. No, brothers, don't go making up stuff. Calm down. But go back to Joshua.
Joshua chapter 7 and verse 11. Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen, and disassembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
Even amongst their own stuff. Read.
Therefore, the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore.
Right. So when we're in the midst of sin, the Most High, the man of war, a man of war is not with us. The war mindset leaves us. It's gone. Without the Most High, our people run. We flee. It's a horrible thing. We get weak mentally. We may be strong in the body. Because you see Jake, we take a ball, we'll run 100 yards, like it ain't nothing, go do it again. We'll run up and down the basketball court. I would say something about swimming, but we don't swim. But any other sport, we killing it. Shoot, you see Jake on a video game, and we kill it. Look, I play video games. And we kill it. But then when it comes to our enemies, though, we get timid. We get weak. It's because the Most High isn't there. And he put that spirit of fear in us. But now as we're getting back, and we realize who we are and what we need to do, our mindset needs to change. It goes from being fearful to being men of war. No longer turning our backs to the enemy, but standing up for what's right. Because we know what? The Most High is with us. But as long as we remain in sin, and our people remain in sin, it ain't so. Read.
Except ye destroy the accursed from among you. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus said the Lord God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee. O Israel, thou canst not stand before thine enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you.
This is the same thing that's being told to us today. Every time we go through the scriptures on the Sabbath, every time you hear keep the commandments, it's the same thing. Take the accursed thing, take the sin away from you, and then you could stand against your enemy. You notice that there's only a couple Israelite camps that can actually stand out on the corner and teach and edify people. There's only a couple Israelite camps that actually go to places across the world and teach and stand against kings and governments and preach this word. Read. That's because we're taking that sin away. We're doing away with it. We're keeping God's commandments. We're not scared. Right. The mindset changes. And if you're scared, you might want to examine yourself. If being an Israelite woman, a daughter of Sarah, is scary to you, sis, you might need to check your spirit. You might need to check what you're doing and quit doing it. Men, if you're scared to go out and teach on the corner or to bring in your people or even speak about the word when it's need to be spoke about, there's sin involved somewhere in your life. You'll see it. You'll see brothers that are strong sit amongst you, and then all of a sudden, one day, they're just gone. Read.
Verse 14. In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes. And it shall be that the tribe which the Lord taketh shall come according to the families thereof. And the family which the Lord shall take shall come by households. And the household which the Lord shall take shall come man by man. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he hath, because he had transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he had wrought folly in Israel.
So this man was to be burnt, he and everything that he had, gone. The Most High was not playing back then, and he's still not playing. It gets real. This is in the midst of a war. You realize that. They're taking over nations. They're getting the land right now. They're warring against all these Canaanites. There's Canaanite cities all around them. Could you imagine that? Being surrounded by your enemy on all sides, and here it is, somebody in the midst of your ranks is basically giving the enemy a leg up on you. Y'all trying to be secretive, and here it is, he's yelling. Hey, we're over here.
It's like being a traitor to your own people.
Right. That's basically what it is. Read.
Verse 16. So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes. And the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought the family of Judah. And he took the family of the Zarhites. And he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man. And Zabdi was taken. And he brought his household man by man. And Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said,
man, do you realize how easy it would be if we could just do that? You know how much sin would be gone out of Israel if we can just, hey, what are you dealing with? What do you need help with?
In this day and age, Israel will be gone because we just can't get it right.
We'd be setting everybody on fire, even us in here. It'd be wild. But just imagine if we get to a point in Israel, even amongst us, take us as a body right here, Oklahoma. Just imagine what would make the difference if me and Officer Noah are talking, and Officer Noah asked me, bruh, what are you dealing with? And I tell him, oh, I'm dealing with such and such, and just break it down. Do you know how much that would help? Not just him, but me also. And then help the body, because now understanding can go forth. Things can be brought out. The body could grow. We always joke about it, and I know y'all heard Deacon joke about it, that sometimes you're just waiting for a person to leave so the body can grow, so the body can move forward. There might be a spirit in here that the Most High is just like, okay, I'm going to let you sit here. And then once that person leaves, or that spirit leaves, then all of a sudden, the body starts growing again, and everybody's just like, dang, where'd all this come from? Where'd this growth come from? We've been stuck in, 4205 North MacArthur Boulevard for, 3 years? We was trying to look for other places. We even looked at this place at one point and couldn't get it. After 3 years of being in that place, now the Most High was like, okay, now y'all are ready. Whatever we had on us, whatever we were dealing with, we got rid of it, and the Most High gave us something greater. Now we got more room. The body has gotten bigger. There's faces in here, I'm like, dang, okay. When did you come in? I've been here years. What? But that, and I'm old. So, keep reading.
Indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel.
He confesses his sin. Read.
And thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils of goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them. And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it.
Okay, so get this. He takes clothes, gold and silver. Gold and silver is supposed to go to the Most High, right? That was consecrated for the Lord. And then he puts it in the midst of his tent. Who was in his tent? His family. So they didn't know? They didn't see him walk in. Hey, look what I got. Where you get that from? Jericho. They helped him hide it.
And also, even if they didn't know that he had it, look what he did to his family.
Mm-hmm. Selfish. Read.
Verse 22. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of his tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them up. They brought them unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned them with fire.
So imagine getting stoned by all of Israel. That's like a mountain of stones. And then they set the stones on fire. That's crazy. We read about this and just think, what would happen if some of us were back in that time? I'm going to tell you, I'd have been dead. I don't know none of y'all. I don't know if any of us would have lived, but think about that. We got grace today, and we read about this, and yet we still can't get right. We still don't have the mentality to realize that the Most High is nothing to play with, and that this is a serious thing, that this is a spiritual warfare. We read about war, but we don't even realize that we're at war ourselves. That every single move you make, people are watching. Not just Israel, not just your family, but the heathens are watching also. They're watching very, very closely. And that right there shows you. That should be proof enough to show you that you're being watched. That the world is noticing. If Esau has taken a notice, I bet you the other nations have noticed too. And they're probably looking at Esau like, you ain't got a lid on this? How are they doing this? This war is way bigger than any of us. Read.
And all Israel stoned him with stones, right, and burned them with fire. After they had stoned them with stones, and they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor until this day.
So, after we put away that sin, the Most High came back, and we fought, and we took the land of Israel. Read about it. Give me Isaiah 55 and 8. And we used this at camp today. Our brother came up at camp talking about, I am God. I'm everybody. No. I'm a representation. No, you're not. None of us are. And the Most High tells us that. Read.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts.
The Most High tells us the Most High's thoughts aren't our thoughts. When the Most High thinks of war, we can't even fathom what war means. We can't even to think a percent of what the Most High thinks when it comes to war or any kind of thought. Read.
Neither are your ways my ways.
Neither are our ways, his ways, our ways. It doesn't match up. So when somebody comes to you and says, oh, I know what God wants. I understand God. No, you don't. My ways are godly. No, they're not. And that's how we are when we're in the midst of sin. Achan, perfect example. He don't know. He didn't understand. He thought he understood, oh, well, God ain't going to see this, you know. That right there, his thoughts weren't matched up with God. God said, don't do it. Achan said, well, that's a nice garment. That's a nice jacket. And that's a lot of silver. I do want to be rich. And that's us today. In the midst of what we go through, that's us every day. Even us in here, we go through things. And we're thinking we're going good. And next thing you know, somebody's like, hey, man, I got old girl's number for you. Like, what are you talking about? Well, I see you looking at her all the time. What? Bruh, I'm married. Oh, I couldn't tell. The way you act. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me that's never happened. Look, ain't nobody said no, huh? Get Isaiah 30. Get Isaiah 30. Start at verse 9. This is why our thoughts and our actions are not the ways and thoughts of the Most High. Because it's been noted. It's in our history. Read.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 9. That this is a rebellious people.
What are we?
That this is a rebellious people.
A rebellious people. We've always been rebellious. Read.
Lying children. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
We hate the laws. But we don't even realize that's our warfare. That's our weapons. That's how we fight back. That's how we get out of the conditions that we're in. That's our most powerful move, is to keep the laws. If we wanted to fight a war against any other nations, all we needed to do was keep the commandments. But yet, we're rebellious. We want to be Moors. We'd rather hear deceits. Tell me it's okay that I go to the club and rub up against this woman, and then I go home and sleep with this woman, then come to church and give you some money. Tell me it's okay. Tell me it's good to go. We'd rather hear that than hear, hey, don't do that. God's going to kill you. This is how you get the kingdom. You offended me. That's what we always hear, even at camp. You tell a brother, hey, don't be in the midst of drunkenness. You offended me. How? You're rebellious. That's why the Most High won't fight for us. That's why the Most High is jacking us up. Have you ever noticed throughout the years, like, let's see, slavery, yeah, it was horrible, right? And then you got the Jim Crow and the pig laws and the black codes. It just, like, and then that paled, like, slavery wasn't nothing. And then you got that era, and then you was like, dude, they was killing us nonstop. Slavery, at least they had us as property, and, you know, they were trying to at least, what they say, take care of us. But then as the years go on, you got the 60s and the 70s, they was killing us in secret, beating us down, having us turn on one another. It just got progressively worse and worse. But you notice our people strayed further and further away from the laws. We left our weapons behind. We no longer knew how to wage war. We become soft. Instead of men of war, like the Lord, we became pansies. Effeminate men, emotional. Oh, you hear my feelings. Why you had to say it like that?
Right.
Go back to Isaiah. Did you have something to say? Go back to Isaiah 55 and 8. We're going to read 8 through 11. We're a rebellious people. And the more rebellious we become, you see this Bible becomes further separated from us. This generation now, they think it's okay. It's okay to be gay. It's okay to date the other nations. It's all right. That's the cool thing to do. When I was growing up, being gay was not something you did. People was scared. You like, what's wrong with you? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? Why are you wearing that? I don't know. My mom got it for me. You put everything on your mom. My mom got it for me. Knowing you went to the store, you picked that out, didn't you?
Hey, officer, when I went to school, if you was gay, we beat you up.
Yeah.
You couldn't hang with us.
Yeah, you knew. But now it's cool. Just notice, the further we get away from the laws, the weaker we become, the easier it is for our people to be destroyed. Black Lives Matter is a gay movement, is a homosexual movement, a sodomite movement, a lesbian movement. And you see it is doing nothing but getting our people shot and killed. Still, getting arrested, getting beat up, assaulted, spied on, being called black identity extremists. And then they're trying to lump us into that because we keep the commandments, because we're going against the normal. We're going back to our weapons. We're learning how to wield our swords. We're learning how to pull our people out of this nonsense. And they don't like that. Oh, snap, they're building an army. They know this. Read.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, said the Lord.
Right, because we're rebellious. Read.
For as heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts.
Like I said, we can't fathom what the Most High, how the Most High thinks or how he moves. We can only try to guess, and even when we guess, we're completely wrong. Read.
Verse 10. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth.
So is the words of this Bible. The same way water gives life and allows crops and the trees to grow, it's the same thing with this word. It goes forth and it ain't coming back. Not void. Anyway, read.
It shall not return unto me void.
Meaning everything that this word talks about will happen. 144,000 men will be sealed, and they will be men of war like the Most High, ready to separate and subdue the nations. That is not void. What the Most High says will happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The point of it is, are you going to be part of it or not? Are you going to build yourself up to be part of that, or are you going to be left behind? Are you going to allow everything in the world, this black identity extremist label, Esau coming against us, is that going to shake you and take you out of this war? Or is it going to strengthen you and make you realize the severity of what your people are going through and how much they really need you? We'll see. Keep reading. Finish that off in 11.
But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
Right, so it's going. Give me 1 Samuel chapter 25, start at verse 1. This is a common story. If you read the history, this is the story of Nabal and Abigail. Let's see, what we're going here for is to see the mindset. Let's see how King David acted. Let's see if he was a shy man, a soft man, like us, like our people today. Read.
1 Samuel chapter 25 and verse 1. And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him and buried him in the house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife was Abigail.
For y'all that don't know, Nabal means fool. Read.
And she was a woman of good understanding, and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings. And he was of the house of Caleb.
Who's Caleb? Who knows who that is? Mike Yalla? That's it? Mike Yalla, who's Caleb?
Caleb was of the house of Judah that went with Joshua to subdue, to spy out the land with the other people.
He was one of the two that lived through the wilderness.
Right.
He's of the house. That's a noble house. The house of Caleb. It was him and Joshua that made it through. That came through. Read.
Verse 4. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, Get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity, Peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. And now I have heard that thou hast shearest. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel. Ask the young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore, let the young men find favor in thine eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand unto thy servants and to thy son David. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all the words in the name of David, and ceased.
Right, so David was being diplomatic. He's like, hey, look, go ask him for some stuff. We know he's prosperous. Tell him to give us some stuff. We need some stuff. He understood that, okay, look, things are happening. David was always at what? Always at war, always needing help where he can get it. But let's see what happened. Let's see what Nabal is about.
Verse 10. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shears and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be?
Look, this is King David, okay? Everybody's heard of King David. And this dude was like, who cares? Who are you? King David represented who? The Most High. The Most High ordained this man to be over his people. He was the king. And this dude's like, man, who's this guy? I ain't giving you nothing. Wow. That's why they say he was evil in all his doing. That's why his name was Nabal. He's a fool. Who are you to tell the Most High? No. You think David did that on his own? Read.
Verse 12. So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those things. And David said unto his men, Gird ye of every man his sword.
What'd he say?
Gird ye of every man his sword.
A man of war. He said, okay, look, try to ask nicely. Now we're going to go get it. Now we're going to go get it. And let's hear what he says. Read.
And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything as long as we were conversant with them when we were in the fields.
Right, so David asked nicely. Dude told him flat out no. David girded up his men and got ready to go and kill this dude. One of the servants goes back to his wife, Nabal's wife, and is like, look, we about to die. He didn't told the king no, and now he's on his way. Let's see how the sister thinks. Read.
Verse 16. There were a wall unto us both by night and day. All the while we were with them keeping the sheep. Now therefore know and consider that thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household. For he is such a son of Belial, that a man cannot speak to him. Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses. And she said unto her servants, Go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal.
So the servant knew evil was pronounced. Look, your husband is of the devil. Belial. He's of the devil. The Most High is not protecting him. Doesn't that sound familiar? Didn't we just read about this? With Joshua, right? And Achan. He was the devil, caused Israel trouble, and he ended up getting put to death. Here it is, the damn devil again, Nabal, is about to be put to death, but his wife, being the righteous woman she was, she saved him. Read.
Verse 20.
Right.
And it was so, as she rode on the ass, that she came down by the covert of the hill. And behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. Now David had said, Surely in vain have I kept all this fellow hath in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him. And he had requited me evil for good.
Right, so David's like, I didn't take nothing from this dude. And here it is, this dude did me dirty. David is thinking this. Keep reading, watch.
So and more also do God unto the enemies of David, if I leave of all that pertain to him by the morning light, and that pisseth against the wall.
He said, the same way the Most High destroys all the enemies of David, this is how he's going to destroy this dude. Everybody that pisses against the wall. He's killing everybody. Everything. There was nothing going to be left. Read.
And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lightened off the ass and fell before David on her face and bowed herself to the ground and fell at his feet and said, Upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be. And let thine handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thine audience, and hear the words of thine handmaid. Let not my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal. For as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thine handmaid, saw not the young men of my Lord, whom thou didst send. Now therefore, my Lord, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing the Lord hath withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thine own hand. Now let thine enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal.
Look, she said, anybody that goes against you is a fool. Because that's how King David rolled. He had a mentality of war. He kept the commandments. He did what the Most High told him to. And he knew that anybody that came against him was going to die. That is the mentality that we must have. We must be like our forefather, King David. When we're in these commandments, nothing can hurt us. Not physically. Look, calm down. Don't go out there being Superman and jumping off of buildings and stuff. But spiritually, we're set. The Most High has our back. When we do what the Most High tells us to do, we have a protection like none other nation.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.